Welcome back, guys. Today we have a very special guest. She's a financial advisor, and I'll first let her introduce herself.
Okay. My name is Mido Phyllis, but I prefer to be called Mido. I have worked in financial advisory for 7 years. What I specialize in range from life insurance, general insurance, asset management, and retirement planning. Yes.
Okay, so in today's video, what we want to discuss is how to invest for beginners. And we'll just like, for somebody who's never invested before, they want to get into that space, but even the word investment itself sounds like some big mountain.
Yeah.
So maybe just to start, what's the difference between savings and investments?
Okay. So when it comes to savings, it's you putting your money aside, and in terms of you're putting a portion of your money just to ensure you're doubling it. And then when it comes to investment is where you are you're putting your money into something that is growing. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if for example I've been saving, why should I invest? What's the benefit of investing?
Okay, so the most important thing to note is when it comes to investment, most investments usually have a rate of return. Yeah, and my recommendation has always been anything 10%, an average return of 10% and above, simply because it's higher than the current country's inflation rate. So it means your money is not degrading, rather your money keeps on growing. As much as the inflation simply means the price of commodities is going high. So if you're not multiplying your money, it means at some point the money will not serve your purpose. Yes.
Okay, so I'm a beginner, I want to get into investing. What are some of the basics I should know about investing?
Okay, so first and foremost, you need to do a risk assessment for yourself, which I'm able to guide you through that. We look at your age, we look at your previous history of since we're trying to avoid the word investment, your previous history of you putting money into several things. Could be starting an M-Pesa, starting whichever thing that you had placed your funds in. And then we also look at whatever you are currently holding in terms of something that you might not think it's an investment, but what you are currently putting your money in, right? And then once we look at that, we are able to know what is your risk assessment. Are you a low risk investor, a medium risk investor, and then a higher risk investor? So based on that, we are able to recommend, I'm able to recommend a particular product serves your purpose. This other one is not in your alignment.
So the first thing generally is to first of all get to know what kind of a risk taker you are.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, now say we've already figured out maybe I'm a low risk taker. What are some of the products that you'd advise?
Okay, so when we are out here, people are quick to advise us on stocks. Put your money in stocks, put your money in shares. And okay, it is also important for us to consult with a professional who is also able, or whose main job is to be able to guide you on how to invest in those particular investment vehicles. But for me, what I will advise is when you are a low risk investor, money market funds become the best avenue for you. How? You look through companies that have been licensed by Capital Markets Authority and regulated by Nairobi Securities Exchange. Now, you're looking at that because it means their products have been licensed to be floated to the public. So you're looking at those various companies, you're looking at the rate of return they are offering in their current money market funds, because money market funds are essentially a pool of funds that different investors with different financial capabilities come together to put their funds together under a fund manager and invest, and in exchange the fund manager gives them a rate of return. So at the moment most money market funds have a rate of return of between lowest around 8.6, highest some are going even to a high of 15%. So you also need to find out what are the investments vehicles are those fund managers placing your funds with. There are those who put the funds in the stock market, there are those who put it in shares, there are those who put it in equities, all right, both local and international. So you need to find out about that. So money market becomes a recommended one for low risk investors, simply because they once we do the risk assessment, you'll realize where money market funds are invested are a little bit on the lower risk cadre. They're not really invested in equities or some of these assets that are high risk investments.
So apart from like money market, what other option would a low risk investor have?
Bonds. Bonds, there are companies that do bond plus accounts, and then there's the government infrastructure bond. So also the same goes to most of these products are advised by the minimum amount to invest, and also how long are you locking your funds for. We'll speak about the bond plus accounts. You'll see the minimum amount you can invest in is 1,000 shillings. Locking period is 14 days. So that one, because it means you can liquidate your money in case you need it. One thing I understand about the government bonds, they are long term. So it means you will lock your funds for quite some time. So that will still return us back to our risk assessment portfolio.
What do you really want? What's your purpose with the money? Okay.
This is a video interlude to show you the space I've been shooting from, which is Sifa House. First off, how gorgeous is this place? And it's in a serene environment. It's a 5-bedroom Airbnb with own compound and ample parking space. It's located along Thika Road, Kimbo Ruiru, Kiganjo Road. Now guys, this space is perfect for your bridal pickups, your rural shows, your family long stays, small group events, and content creation like your podcast, YouTube, photo shoots. Now the only thing standing between you and this hidden gem is making that call and booking this space. So what are you waiting for? Make that call.
Now, if I'm on the opposite side, I'm a high risk investor, what options do I have?
Equities. We have what we call equities. We have companies that do fixed deposit funds, and there's some companies also that do special income funds. I think they're called special income funds. I'm not really sure, but those are high risk. So it means high risk, high return. So of course, it will also be advised by, when it comes to investing, your age is very important. Yes, because the younger you are, the more high risk you are. Why? You're looking at the time period you still have. So you have a lot of time to gamble with your money. Sometimes you lose some. You have okay, for lack of a better word, would say you have the advantage of time. You have the advantage of time. But for someone who is a little bit advanced in age, I'm speaking of someone who is past the age of 45 going to 50, you are more reserved. Why? In the stage you're practically in a consolidated stage of your finances.
You wouldn't want to lose any money.
What you're trying to do, you're starting to look at avenues where your money is almost guaranteed, because you're almost approaching retirement, and you don't want to get to retirement when you don't have anything. So you're looking at avenues where your money is in a guaranteed state. Yes.
Okay. Now, if I'm starting off, do I have to start off like with one option, or can I have the option of diversifying my investments, or what would your advice be for a beginner?
You are allowed to do that. Diversification is very important because it means you're not supposed to put all your eggs in one basket. But also still we will come back to the past point I spoke about. How much money do you have, right? Okay. How much money do you have? Especially when you are investing for a beginner, it might mean in terms of age, in terms of you have accumulated funds through savings, so you have a lump sum somewhere, so you're not able to raise money to buy probably a house, piece of land, a car, but here you have some money that you want to invest in, you want to make it grow, so that you're able to make it work for you. So we will look at what you have, and then we are able to give you a recommendation. Put some money in this, put some money in that, and also it will be informed in terms of your goals. We are in January where all of us are working on goals, on our New Year resolutions and goals. So it will be informed with what is your short-term goal, what are you trying to achieve, what's your medium-term goal. Medium-term goals run between 3 years to 5 years, and then what's your long-term goal, because we have to have the end in mind. We are not going to be young forever. A time is coming when we'll be 50 or 60 years. So what's our long-term goal? Once we work with that, then we will do allocation of those specific funds.
So now, around how much money or what range of cash should one have when you want to start investing?
1,000 shillings is enough.
Really? For what options? What options allow for 1,000 shillings?
Okay, so we will look at your income. Are you a salaried person? If you're a salaried person, there is something important we need to speak about. That is paying ourselves first. It's something we do not do. Paying ourselves first is not taking us out or spoiling ourselves, for having worked hard for 30 days. No, paying ourselves first means us investing in ourselves, right? In a financial aspect. So you turn your investments into bills. The way you need to pay rent, the way you need to pay for water, the way you need to pay for electricity, the way you need to pay for service charges, all these utilities that you know that demand some form of financial from yourself. It means you have to convert your investment into a bill, so that you tell yourself, ideally what I advise is 10% of your income. So once you have 10% of your income, whether you are in business or whether you are salaried, then we have a starting point. So minimum amount to invest 1,000, but let's work with 10% of your income. But for someone who is starting, we can gradually improve from 2% to 5%, then eventually to 10%. Yes.
Okay, guys, you've heard investing doesn't mean you need like some 100,000 or tens of thousands for you to start investing. As low as 1,000 Kenya shillings, and you have options. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Those are the basics, and we are definitely going to have her more to slowly learn. I don't want us to like dive deep in, just slowly basics, and we grow from there. So you're definitely going to see her more. Thank you so much. What tips can you give somebody who's now starting to invest as we conclude?
Okay, as you start this journey of investments, of course I wish you all the best. It's important for you to have someone or an accountability partner, who in this case could be someone who is helping you in the investment journey. Can be a financial advisor or whomever is able to hold your hand in this process.
Yeah.
Another important thing is, I keep saying this, kindly, let's have an emergency fund. Yes.
Please define an emergency fund for someone who
Okay, an emergency fund is a cushion, a fund that you've put for yourself as a cushion that you will be able to reach out to in a crisis. All right.
Okay.
So what is advisable is 6 months of your monthly income. Yeah. COVID taught us that 6 months of your monthly income. So have that. Once you have that, of course, do not put it in a savings account where or anywhere that is not earning you interest. Remember, I mentioned about inflation. Put it somewhere where you are earning an interest on top of that money. Then take care of things like risks that are risks that are foreseeable. I'm speaking of health. Yeah, it's important for you to get yourself a health insurance cover, because pretty much most of our funds can be wiped out by an ailment. So consider a medical insurance cover that should be there as a cushion, so that you don't go back to your money to pay for medical bills. And then think long term. As young people, we need to think long term. A time is coming when we will retire. So what are we going home with?
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, guys. I'm pretty sure you're going to learn a thing or two. And yeah, that will be it for this video. See you in the next one.
Okay.
Bye.